Hello everyone, my name is Janina. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well when you're watching this. Today's video is about some boys love manga actually, because I thought why not give you some recommendations in boys love manga, but for like a specific kind of genre in the boys love manga. So it's kind of like my favorite boys love manga but with fantasy elements, or my favorite boys love manga in like high school, you know? So I thought I'd give you like 5 really great good recommendations for like one specific subgenre. Like I just thought why not try that out, and if you are interested in this kind of stuff and in this kind of like idea for a series, then let me know and I will do more of this. I probably do more anyway because I like talking about it. Today I'm going to talk about boys love manga with like a supernatural twist to it, like a little fantasy element to it, not like high-end fantasy with like swords and like dragons and everything. This will come maybe later, but like with like supernatural, like small elements. Yeah, I have like 5 manga that I want to talk about. I don't want this video too long, and I tend to ramble a lot when I talk about manga. So yeah, I will stick to these 5, and yeah, without further ado, let's get started, and I'm going to tell you something about some boys love manga that I really like. So the first one that I have here, I actually recommended before, and that is Toritan by Kotetsuko Yamamoto. And in this one, we follow a young man, and he's kind of like doing every kinds of jobs. For example, doing the groceries for his neighbors, or repair work or something. So he doesn't have like your typical kind of like full-time job, but he gets by. It's fine for him. And he has a cafe that he frequents a lot, and there's a young guy in there that he talks to a lot. But the twist in Toritan is that our main character can talk to birds. So we follow him, how he kind of has like this super hilarious interactions with all kinds of birds, especially with pigeons. It's like hilarious. Like the dialogues in this manga are just so outstandingly funny. I love it just for the humor. And our main character is like really annoyed by the fact that he can listen to birds, because like every time in the morning when he wakes up, he like hears birds talking in front of his window, and he's like, why won't they shut up? And but one day he actually meets a crow, and the crow is kind of like so weirdly cool that he wants to meet that crow again and again, and wants to talk to that crow, and he kind of gets like this little crush on this bird, and he is so shocked by that. But it has like this really funny turn, and it's nothing, you know, weird or anything, but it is so wonderfully funny. It's so amazingly hilarious. It's not explicit at all. It's just, you know, really soft and sweet. What's important is that it is still ongoing. So I think there are now 12 or 13 chapters out. So it's a really like slow going manga. I think there were probably like chapters out every, I don't know, 3 months or something. So if you don't want that, you shouldn't start it. I highly recommend it if you like this kind of stuff, you know, like with a supernatural twist, with a lot of birds, and really slow, sweet romance that is like really slow burn as well. I think Toritan is something that you should try out. The next one has like a really large Japanese name, so I will have to read that off of my like little notebook that I have here, because I can't remember that long name. So it's Ekikin Mahotsukai Tsuki Ikodate, and it's by Imai Yumi. It is only 1 volume long, so you will read that really fast. I think most of these are only like 1 volume long actually. So in this one, we have a human that is a real estate agent in the human world, but he tries his best to find housing for supernatural beings. So in this world, we know that there are supernatural beings, and he is a human and trying to find homes for all these beings. But one of like his customers is a little bit more interested in him than only like finding a housing, and it's super sweet. I think this is non-explicit as well. I think it's only like on the soft side, and actually I was really surprised when I read this, because I've never read a boys love manga about like real estate and finding like houses and stuff. So that was really refreshing and really different as well. It's really soft, and the guy who's interested in the real agent, he's really like, he really likes the other guy like for who he is, even though he's like a little bit like soft and very like soft spoken, and it's just a really all around really soft manga, I think. And if you want something a little bit more different, like even though it has like supernatural elements, like the real estate thingy is like, it's so different. Like it's such an interesting take on like a story, I thought. So if that interests you, I think you should try that one out. The art is really cute as well. It's really on the soft side as well. Like the word that fits this manga is just soft, basically. Then the next one I can really highly recommend is Karasu no Yomeiri. This one as well has only one volume and is by the mangaka Riko Sakura. And actually I read a lot by this mangaka by now, and I fell in love with her art at first. And then I slowly started to really like her stories because they're a little bit different as well. I think they're very like not your typical kind of boys love manga. I think all like every manga on this list is not your typical boys love manga in my honest opinion. So in this one we have our main character Ryo, and he comes from a family that has the ability to talk to the messengers of the goddess Inari. So Inari is like a god in Japanese like folklore, and our main character can talk to their messengers. So like an animal, like spiritual animal. And this ability comes because there are like two families, the family of the main character and another family, and they're intermarriage between each other. So the offsprings always have like this supernatural ability to talk to the messengers, and our main character is waiting for his bride-to-be to start his marriage, but the bride-to-be actually elopes with another guy, and he's like being stood up basically. So now the family is kind of like in trouble with like what are they supposed to do. This was supposed to be our like continuation of our family and everything, and now he's kind of like now they're all like, what are they supposed to do? So one day the little brother of the ex-bride to be actually comes to the shrine where our main character lives in, and he offers himself as the, you know, substitute for the original bride. And this is kind of what we follow. And I know it sounds a little bit weird being like, oh my god, I'm the substitute. So there's a reason why the brother does that, and I don't want to take that away from the story, but please give this a try if you like a little bit of supernatural stuff connected to gods, and if you like a slow burn romance in this one as well, and where the main character is like really just really calm. Like he's a really calm guy and like thinks about things first before he acts, and like the romance part is like really slowly coming together, and I love this a lot. Like when I first started reading it, I was like, this is a little bit weird, isn't it? Like just the idea of it. But like you just slowly start reading it and you learn as well like why the brother does what he does, and why he like why his actions are like that sometimes, and you really feel with the brother. And I really liked how everything was like slowly coming together, and you understood more and more about like why this is all happening. And I really like that. I like the supernatural aspect of it, even though it's just a really tiny part. It's more about the relationship between Ryo, our main character, and the brother, and that they're like both men as well, and that's like a problem because there won't be like an heir and everything. So that's a big part of this as well. I thought it was really beautiful and like a really beautiful story as well, and the art was beautiful. I can also highly recommend her other stuff like by the author. It was really, really lovely and beautiful, and the drama in it was like just made sense to me. So yeah, highly recommend it. Try it out if you like that. The next one that I have here is Goshujin-sama Tokedama. In this we follow a salaryman who just lost his wife. His wife died, and he is just sluggishly going through life. He really struggles with like his daily routine because it's always the same, like going to work, coming home to an empty house, and just like still struggling with the grief of losing his wife. But one day on his way home, he finds like a weird little being that is really fluffy and cute, and it seems hurt, and he takes that being home, or that animal or whatever it is, and he takes care of it. But in the end, it turns out that little being is actually a human. So he takes care of this human because they don't have a home, and we learn that his name is Kedama. So our main character is taking care of Kedama, and they obviously come closer together, and Kedama is trying to help our main character, who's called Chikusa, to like try to be happy again, and try to learn again that life is important, and that there are still nice things out there that can make you happy. So we kind of follow like this relationship, how Kedama is trying to help Chikusa be more happy with himself and with his life. Chikusa coming to terms with his grief and with the fact that there is now a new human being that he's starting to slowly get feelings for. It's just beautiful. Like, I love that so much. It's a little bit dramatic, like, be prepared for that. It's quite dramatic. But it all turns out well in the end. Let me say that. So for all your happy endings fans out there, you gotta get that. Don't worry about it. Highly recommend this. It's really sweet. So if you don't mind like a human being with animal characteristics and someone who turns into like a white fluffy ball, because that's how the being looks like. I don't really remember what kind of being it was anymore. I think it's explained anyway, so yeah, give it a try if you don't mind that. And if you like a story that's a little bit more heavy, I think, like not too heavy obviously, but where someone really struggles with life, I think you will really enjoy this one. It was really, really beautiful. And the last recommendation that I have here is called Shonen to Kusuri Yuri. So it's like boy and medicine man, because I think like Kusuri Yuri is like medicine man. This one is also only 1 volume long and by the mangaka Yoshida Mika. And this is also like an historical manga. It's set like in, I think, Edo, Japan, maybe probably in that time, like not in modern times, let's just say that. And in this one, we follow a young boy that is able to hear animals' thoughts when he touches them. So he has like this power where he kind of can communicate with animals, just like in Toritan, but not only with birds, but with all animals. So he has this ability to like listen into animals' thoughts, and his friends find out, and they spread like this really nasty rumors that he's kind of like a monster and like all these terrible things. So he has to flee to like deep in the woods and to get away from like all the other people that kind of try to hunt him and bully him. So he lives alone in the woods, and one day our main character has like a little accident. I think he's falling down like a cliff or something, and he gets hurt, but he is found by our Kusuri, so by our medicine man, and he's taken care by that medicine guy, and it's so beautiful. Like, first of all, the art is so lovely, like it's so nice, and it fits really well in this like historical setting, in my opinion. And the relationship that these two guys have is super lovely. The Kusuri is like really taking care of our main character and doesn't care that he can like talk or like listen to animals' voices. And it's so lovely because our main character is kind of really afraid of human bonds, because he was like so mistreated before and like kind of betrayed before by his friends. And there we have like the Kusuri who like doesn't care and takes care of him and just wants to stay by his side. And it's so lovely, and I just like the setting a lot. There's some drama as well in this. I mean, all the boys love manga kind of have some point of drama. It's resolved really fast and really well, and it's just a really sweet story where two people come together, and one of them has like a lot of problems and went through a lot, but the other is like there for him. And it's so nice. Like, I was so surprised when I found this, because I love stories like that, actually, where one of them is kind of like, okay, I was hurt before and now I don't want anyone getting too close to me, but there's like a really like nice, gentle other person comic, getting behind these walls that the other person is like building, and it was so lovely. Oh my god. But yeah, actually these are all the recommendations I have for you today. They're all kind of like on the supernatural spectrum of things, and yeah, let me know if you read any of these, or if you would like to read any of these now that I talked about them. And if you did, let me know what you thought about them. I would love to hear your opinion on them. And yeah, and also let me know if you like this idea of, you know, me talking about like one specific kind of boys love manga genre. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you then. Bye.